Right, this video is pretty much based on places where you can go and catch a zander. So if you're not familiar with catching them fish and you want somewhere to go, this is a club which can offer that, and it's accessible from people right throughout the UK, really. Um, so anyway, this is King's Lynn Angling Association, and you need to get a permit off them first. You can buy it online. I'm not sure how much it is. It does say on here, but I can't remember precisely. But let's not worry about cost just now. So these are the venues you can go. There's one here: 10 Mile Bank, Cut Off Channel, Relief Channel, Middle Level North, Middle Level South, Old Bedford, and they've got a few other pits and bits and pieces and other places where you can go just for your general sort of, your general core species. But if you're after pike and in particular zander, I think the middle level north, middle level south is particularly good, and I think the cut-off channel as well. But let's see what we can see. So 10 Mile Bank. Okay, so just to make you aware, the location of it is for people. So zoom out. So there you go. There's King's Lynn. Peterborough's here. So it's pretty accessible for everybody, really. It's quite close to Bedford, March. So it's this area here. So let's focus on the river itself before we go into reading the bits and pieces about it. So you can see there's lots of drains and bits and pieces, and these are sort of channels which have been formed for irrigation and this, that and the other. So let's just have a look here. So we've got excellent catches of bream and tench early summer, the piggeries. There's a spot, and obviously if you zoom in a lot closer you'll see road access all the way along and this, that and the other. Popular for bream and tench, Wissy Mouth. Winter winner with large nets of bream and tench throughout the winter. Brown's Farm, long straight section just feet from the road. A popular section particularly adjacent to the lay-bys. Good nets of bream, tench and roach plus a carp or two. Okay, so roach in this area. So wherever the roach are, you'd like to think the pikey and the zander would be. So Modney Bridge, downstream section, shallower than most, always attracts anglers, often best in autumn. One word of advice, I would always pay attention to these little notes here, where it says like autumn and shallow and, the species that, do you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's pretty much, the guys who have done this website, they know their water, big fish area in summer months. Right. So we'll take note of there. Just downstream of Manton's Farm, a favourite big bream area for many, with little parking. So we'll get up early to go to that one. And we've got deep water, very popular, and now with more open areas. So there you are. There you are. So just to make you aware, so obviously on that stretch, power lines. Be careful where you're sticking the rod. Deep water, extreme deep water. Mature, attractive, deep flowing river. Deep, slow flowing river. Okay, varying in depth from 9 to 20 feet. West Bank fishing from Denver Sluice to Danby Drove. East Bank fishing from Denver Sluice to Modney Court. Yeah, so when it's deep like that, you're probably looking at, fishing on the bottom with like a method feeder or, something like that, swim feeder. Something's going to get down the bottom for your usual sort of species. That's how I would approach it anyway, because that's a lot to be float fishing with. How are you going to cast it? Alright, so anyway, directions. Down and Market Bypass to Denver Village, then to Denver Sluice. From the A10, Kings Lynn to Ely Road. Turn down Modney Bridge Road, signed Welney, 10 Mile Bank. Right, so it looks like you can fish both sides. Catch fish on all methods, feeding necessity to attract shoals. So you're looking at quite a lot of ground bait. Several carp, Someone's put a food carp in there from the pond in there. So it's the EF cleared the banks above the engine drain, returning the bank for angler use. All right, so sort of someone's been doing a little bit of making way, a bit of access. Fishing the reedy margins for that lurking pike. Yeah, maybe early in the year. Lures and wobble baits are a good way to explore a stretch if you're a predator angler. Yeah, if you want the bigger ones, you want to put a bait on the bottom. Probably in the middle, in the deep water, I would say, in the cooler months. That's if you want a good one. But hey, they can show up anywhere, I suppose. You just got to try it. You just got to try different things. So anyway, so that's 10 Mile Bank. So let's try this other one. Let's just scroll back. Cut off channel. Okay, again, power lines. Beware of power lines. Can be affected from large tidal surges and changes in water level. That's interesting. Tidal surges. Well, you don't want any salt water in there, would you? No vehicles on the banks. That's fair enough. You want to just be mindful not to get your vehicle stuck or get it in get it in a situation where you can't get it out or anything like that. Be mindful of that. No fishing from bridges, parapets, or rails. All right, so they obviously used to do that years ago, but you don't really want to be on a bridge anyway because with traffic and stuff like that. You don't want you're going fishing to enjoy yourself, not bugging yourself up. New Stoke Ferry area from June 11, which is strictly members only and no day tickets. Okay, that's interesting. So Stoke Ferry's down here. Alright, so we've got runs from Denver Sluice to Stoke Ferry Aqueduct. So this is Stoke Ferry here. So there's an aqueduct down here, and it runs all the way up to Denver Sluice, which is this area here. So no fishing allowed between marked areas for Renton Bridge or school common entrance. Contains all species, right, with big bream and tench, often showing in winter, depth to 13 foot. Popular with fly fishing, predator anglers who wander the banks, rod in hand with minimal tackle. Several sheltered sections that encourage anglers on the windiest of days. I think this area here around Denver Sluice is pretty secluded. Let's just zoom in. There we go. Let's just wind that out a little bit. Oh, here we go. So, what we got here then? So this is Denver Sluice. Let's just zoom in a bit. See what we can see. So, that's this area here. So, just to zoom in a bit. So, I think it's pretty much park up wherever you can get, really. It's a massive area. It's like I say, if you're not totally familiar with it, it's you might just want to visit the tackle shop and just ring them up and just say, hey, I'm planning on doing this. And you might say, well, don't bother to do this. So parking, you can probably park on the side here, and or park here somewhere and just wander down. It's a big, vast area. You're going to get. I used to get some really big zander. I just zoomed in a bit too much. You should get some really big zander in these sort of waters. So what's it say here? Cut off channel, Fordham. Turn off the A10 and take the track down the channel and car park. Easy access. Heavy agricultural machinery use this road. Park accordingly. Good catches almost anywhere up and downstream of the bridge. Pretty good for bream and tench. Bream and tench in here. These trees. I think I've been here before. I have fished it. I'm talking a long time ago. I'm talking 30 years ago. I remember these trees, these big long line of trees walking along here. I think we parked in this area. It was a real cold day. It was a real cold day. It looks like you can access it from both ends. There's another one here near the bridge. Bridges are meant to be particularly quite good. Car park. This is situated down the track to the pump house upstream on the Hillgate bank. Please advise visitors accordingly. Platforms are provided in the Hillgate to Fordham section. Numerous double figure nets and autumn matches. Great fishing all year and tench and bream in the winter. Along here. River Wissies down here, look. So I think that might have some zander in it as well. Massive area to try. Cut off channel, Wroxham farm, crossways, car park, picturesque area. See more anglers in the summer. Along here, quite nice. Look at that. Also Station Road, Glaze Wing. Another picturesque area, named after old railway station, Abbey Station. Zoom out a little bit. Fire Hill Drove. Parking limited. Cut off channel Wearham. Difficult in busy traffic conditions in the winter months. Okay. Cut off to Renton. Car picture and natural cutting. Alright, we get the idea. There's plenty of places to go. Stoke Ferry. This is this area here. Entry from the west of the common. Parking not allowed on the grass common to the east behind the waterworks, with good car parking along the bankside. Fishing allowed in the green coloured areas only from the numbered pegs. No day tickets sold on the banks in this area. Please take care not to black rights of way and access. No fishing within 30 metres of structures. So I think that's the only place where it says that. It's like a bit of a sort of a syndicate there. But I think you can rock up to some of these places I've been talking about. And I think you can pay on the bank. So you can just rock up and you just pay like a $5 or something. So you ideally want a permit, but you want to just ring up the tax shop and double check. But I think it says somewhere in here that you can just rock up. Anyway, so this is the relief channel, which is, let's just zoom in a little bit. Satellite, King's Lynn. So the relief channel is all the way down here. So let's just talk. Let's just go into the relief channel quickly. Relief channel. Saddle Bow. What's it say there? Water skiing takes precedence in this area. Well, that's not a lot good, is it? Early and late sessions best. The high sun soon puts the shoals off the feed. That's not a good start. Car park, but limited access. Mill Road, St Germans. What's this? Car park, often put with easy access. St Mary's, Magdalen. Relief channel. Zoom out there. What's this? The Heron. Famous for the stretch known as the Golden Mile, where Sheffield anglers flock to the fens for bream and more bream. Access now require quite a long walk. W Head Road. The Heron. Is that a pub? Yes, I think it is. Well, it looks like there's a car park there. Looks like you can put your car in here. And you can just fish out along here somewhere. You just fish here. I think you get a bailiff who would just sort of, you get bailiffs who are sort of, they focus on certain stretches. So, you know, there'll be old boys who just go, oh, I'll just, you know, go for a wander or whatever and see if there's anyone out there fishing. So you just pay on the bank, mate. I'm pretty sure. So anyway, these bridges are pretty good for, you know, fish attracting devices. And see if there's any more. There's another spot here. Down a good area behind the rubbish, known as the Stones. Right, so a lot of people from the village might sort of fish that. Anyway, so let's just see what it says. Relief channel. So fishery affected by power lines. Affected by large tidal surges and changes in water level. Right. Okay. No vehicles on the banks. That's fair enough. No fishing from the bridges. Fishing is not permitted on the west bank downstream of Magdalen Bridge near and around the moorings. So there are some areas where they don't want you to fish. Forms part of the Denver complex, and water storage is part of the 1960s flood defence scheme. Helped to keep the villages dry in the 2014 floods. So it's a big open waterway, one of the most challenging in the fens. A favourite with anglers for big bream, where a boat can be used to locate the big shoals. Bream fishing usually best before the sun is high in the sky. Often fishes best when there is a good blow. For me, you know, if you're fishing for bream and the sun is putting them off, you ought to be fishing the areas the deepest parts. If you can find the stretches where the deepest, that's where you ought to be putting your bait. Often fishing, but even then, you know, you probably won't be fishing them places sort of early in the morning anyway, or sort of in the evening. Focus on them sort of places. Often fishing's best when there is a good blow. Popular with predator anglers, particularly those who like their own space. Despite the winter floods, good pike and zander were caught in late in the season last term. Predator anglers reported big shoals of roach, but few anglers targeted them. Boats are allowed on the water between Denver and St. Germans. Where's that area then? Denver and St. Germans. Must be up here. Denver and St. Germans. Well, here's St. Germans there. So this area here. So boats. Talking about boats in this area. It's quite a wide channel, I must admit. But okay. Yeah. Let's just go back one. What's it say? EA bylaws apply with regard to fishing, and a King's Lynn Angling Association permit is required for boats as the water is leased for fishing to the association, whether it be from a bank or a boat. Species include bream hybrids, roach, rudd, tench, perch, pike, and zander. Okay, that's the relief channel. So it's quite a big, open, expansive bit of water, the relief channel. But I do not like the idea of boats on it. I think they sort of get on my nerves a little bit. You know, if they're just a rowboat or something, that ain't so bad. But when you get these people who might be jet skiing, or well, not jet skiing but water skiing, something like that, that wouldn't. I'd rather go on a different one. Now the middle level north, again deep water, power lines, no vehicles on the banks, no fishing from the bridges or the parapets. Wigan Hall, St James to Maglan Fen. So it's just a bit short of this one. There's a southern one, so it's just from here. So St Germans, you drive over, and you can fish this side along here, and a record zander was caught in '98. Abundant pike. Catch bream, roach, tench, perch, pike, and zander. A variety of methods provides the venue for the angler who wants to get away from it all in fan land. Right, so it provides some super fishing in 2006 and 2007. Well, sort of living in the past there, boys. This man-made reed-lined main drain provides flood protection for the West Fenland area across Northamptonshire. It can be subjected to fast flows when fishing may prove difficult. However, it remains one of the key venues for both pleasure and match angler alike. Alright, so let's just satellite in. Zoom out. Zoom in. And we go, what do? St Mary's Bridge. Excellent holding area for bream and skimmers in summer. The direction will get you to the location indicated by marker pin. Don't worry about that. The bridge is now dismantled, limited parking. So there's an old, where the bridge used to be. So there's lots of swims along here. You drive down the track, park up somewhere, and you ain't got far to go with that. You ain't got far to go with that. Oh my goodness, something like that go, I wouldn't mind. You could eat dead bait. You could sort of give it an hour, and hop a couple, try again. Do you know what I'm saying? Move right up, try again. Try your luck, see what's there. See what's there. I'd say round the bridge would be your best bet. The bridge area, because you're gonna get some the smaller fish are going to be in the middle under the bridge, I reckon. Peter's Drove. So you park up here. Looks like there's somebody in there. Look on this one. There's the area here. Look. What's it say? Car parking, easy access up and downstream. Very popular section. 50 pegs for bream and tench and roach. Normal holding area for bream is upstream opposite the plum tree. I couldn't tell you where that is. So there you go. Doesn't look like you can fish this side, look. But it looks like the banks have been cut this side. to allow the angler in. It's just where normally they would just be like this. So giving you access. Right, so that's the north. That's the north, the south, the naughty north, the sexy south. Right, so again, watch out for power lines, extreme deep water, no vehicles on the banks, no fishing off the bridges. Man-made reed-lined main drain provides flood protection. Subject to fast flows and fishing may prove difficult, but it can be beaten. However, it remains one of the key venues for both pleasure and match angler alike. Bream hotspots include the Dead Arm at St Germans, adjacent to the slough bushes below Maglan High Road, an old bank slip above Pepper Bridge, and the reed bed midway towards Petersworth a try. Catch bream, roach, tench, poach, perk, and zan on a variety of methods. Excellent King of the Fens match series, as well as big nets in the 2013 season. Nets to £75 in the first few weeks of this season. Bring them on. Right, so this is this. We've done the north bit, which is just this bit up here, and there's some other spots along down here. See if there's any variance. What's it say? Limited access. Previously has been excellent for bream, roach, and zander. So right here, this spot here, nice and remote. Nice and remote. See, and it's not even been trimmed, look. It's not even been trimmed. It might be that you might be able to, there's a little track there. You might just be able to get in somewhere just to get a couple of rods out. Do you know what I'm saying? There might be the odd little where someone else has sort of given it a go where you can just sort of, you know, wouldn't get a lot of angling pressure off the main drag, so to speak. What's this one down here? Click on that. 10 permanent platforms and parking. So see some stuff there. Look, looks like the park in this area, and we'll come across this side here. Looks like you can park here and fish. So that's that. That's that. So that's middle level south. So we're just going to do the old Bedford quickly. And what does it say for the old Bedford? Old Bedford. Let's get satellite. Satellite. Right. So the Denver complex. So what does it say? Access and car parking is only at the sluice end, however. Dredged again in 2012 and for 400 metres upstream from the sluice. So it's this one in here, look. That one in there. So it's a different, a lot narrower. This is a funny old one, isn't it? A lot narrower. Interesting. What creatures live up there? Let's find out. So the fishing runs from the new. So anyway, so beware of the power lines. No vehicles on the banks. You don't want your vehicles stuck. No fishing from the bridges. Please take your letter home. I couldn't agree more. The fishing runs from the new road bridge adjacent to the old Bedford sluice for just under 3 miles of bank. Right, so car parking at Salters Lodge. So the car parking is only at the sluice end. However, this is part of the Fenland drainage scheme. Runs off at low tide only with around 20 metres in average depth of 6 feet. So it's not the deepest. Isn't it? That's not the deepest. So let's just zoom out on that. What's it say here? Doesn't really tell you what species are in it, does it? Fish and baits just there, look. It doesn't tell you what fish are in there. Anyway, worth a go with your spinner or a dead bait. Probably when it's a bit warmer. So there you go. There you go. You've got some other bits and pieces here. Springland Lake, Shepherd's Port. What's that? It's yeah, it just looks like it's a you know, some lakes and bits and pieces. And yeah, talking about roach, carp and bream, lake, rudd, tench and chub, bit of carp fishery. So, you know, there's just some other options on different memberships and things. I'm not going to go into these other ones. But I just wanted to chat a little bit about these other places here. Now, they're massive expanse of water. They really are. There'll be some good pike fishing in there. There'll be some, I'd say there'll be some reasonable Zander fishing in there. It might be a little bit hit and miss. But if it's close to you, perfect. If it's not, I would suggest ringing up the fish and tackle shop and just saying, hey, what's been catching and where. Otherwise, you might find that you'd be burning a lot of fuel trying to work out what's working and what isn't. So, as with anything, knowledge is key, and that's where I'd be going. I'd be ringing up the tackle shop, King's Lynn Tackle Shop, and asking them what's going down. So there's a bit about the permits here. What's it say about the permits? Different types of permit. It's talking about an adult permit. It's 45 quid. Well, that ain't bad, is it? Rivers only. Alright, they're talking about a lake and a river. It was a bit more money. An adult silver permit. All waters. All King's Lynn waters. Car park permit. 30 quid. So whether they've brought that, reduced that down because it's half year now, may be the case. But there you go, some different ones to filter through there. Like you say, I think I've read somewhere that you can pay on the bank. You can pay on the bank. I swear I've read that somewhere. They've done a fish study guide throughout those ones I've just discussed. And they do it with like a sonar. Here's a sonar here like that. Right. And they sort of went through it all. And here, look, here you go. This is like one of the rivers I was talking about. This is the back of Ely. Where the marina is, where all the boats are, and like the bridges, you see all the blue, see the big turquoisey sort of blue. Well, that's like the biggest concentration of fish on the chart. Fish density, look, individuals per 1,000 meters cubed. All right, so blue is the greatest, and then dark green. There you go. Look, this area here, look, and you come to the areas where there's bridges and stuff. Seems to be the highest concentration, so you want to be fishing where the bridges are. These sort of areas. So yeah. So anyway, what you can do, you can pull out the original map and line it up and see where it is and see what's try and identify the reasons why the fish are there showing up. And it's usually because there's a feature, like a load of boats are moored up, or there's a bridge or something like that. But yeah, failing that, if you are going and that's your first time, ring up the tackle shop and just say, look, what's been all right, what's been happening. You know, he might just point you somewhere which is reasonable. Do you know what I'm saying? He probably won't give you his best spot, but he'll certainly give you a good starting point. I'm sure he would. But there you go. Right, there you go. I mean, so anybody can log on to that website and just sort of go through it and read it. But I sort of talked you through it anyway, so to speak, because I get bored and just sort of like rattling on about. But here we go. Look, important rules. Like, day tickets are available £5 from the bailiff on the bank for rivers only. So any of them rivers, all right, you can rock up, and for a £5, you can get a day's fishing. Look, you ain't got to worry. Isn't that good? Look, all forms of boat fish need a full book, King's Lynn Anglers Fishing book, and Environmental Agency OMC registration number. No fires, no camping. All right. There you go. Talks a bit about social distancing there and all that sort of stuff. So there you go. There you go. If you water fish one of these, this 10-mile bank or these middle level north, they're classing them as rivers, and 5 are on the bank, mate. Like, you can't argue with that, and that's if they find you. Do you know what I'm saying? Anyway, right. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you later. Please subscribe.